What's up, Internet world? Matthew here, coming to you today with a special video from a special location. I am standing atop the old Huntington burial ground here in historic Huntington Village. You can actually see the town right there behind me. It's a fantastic place, great food, amazing shops. If you're ever in the area, you have to come down here. It's my favorite town. Today, this special video is the self-care tag. You know how tag videos work. Somebody comes up with a concept, they pose a bunch of questions, they tag someone, and then that person answers the questions, tags someone else. So I've been blessed to be put in this chain on really such an important topic by the lovely and vivacious Christina Laura. Thank you very much for tagging me, darling. Love her videos, love her, she's fantastic. Make sure you guys go down to the description, check her links to her channel, to her Instagram, and also to her self-care tag video. I'm gonna jump right in. How do you define self-care? Well, a lot of people think of self-care as being something you need to do, to kind of nurture yourself. And that's great for most people. I'm a real type A, hard-driven alpha personality, and I know I'm guilty of it, and I know a lot of other people with my kind of makeup are guilty of it too. We think of it as something that you do when you're just simply tired. And I'll tell you, it's honestly not the case. Self-care to me is personal maintenance. And in that respect, I think of some of the most high-performance, high-powered military hardware that we have in the U.S. arsenal. You know, the C-130, the Apache, any aircraft carrier. Those beautiful pieces of machinery have to be constantly maintained. Sometimes it's quick maintenance on the battlefield. Sometimes they have to be taken back to the shop and stripped down and completely overhauled. And honestly, as a high-powered, high-focused type A personality, you don't want to wait until you have to be overhauled, because that feels like more time lost in whatever you're pursuing. You have the next goal to do. That's the way I think of self-care, is just maintenance to keep going forward. What's your favorite thing to do when you feel overwhelmed? If I know I'm reaching that point where I need to start taking some, more care, when I know I need to start looking under the hood, I run to nature. I'm on a beautiful spot on the earth. There are lots of municipal parks, county parks, state parks all around me, and I'm blessed. I will go to the woods, I will go to a beach, I'll go somewhere where I could feel more connected to the gods, to the old spirits of the earth and the sky, and just breathe into it, and think things out and talk things out and really feel more connected to something bigger than myself. That's where I go, and that's what I do. What are some of your favorite quotes to keep you on track? I collect quotes, but I'm not the kind of person to look and reflect on them as much. I've gotten to the point where I've programmed my head to play back the words of some of the great thought leaders that I've been following these last few years. Tai Lopez, Peter Sage, Gary Vaynerchuk, Eric Thomas, Les Brown, Lisa Nichols, Mel Robbins, some incredible minds, Sean Stevenson. I mean, honestly, I could just stand here and name so many great people. But I've trained my brain to just put their voices in my head. Like, if something goes wrong, if I encounter a major setback, almost immediately I'll hear Jocko Willenick in my head go, "Good, own it." If I'm working out and I feel like I've done enough, I hear Eric Thomas in my head saying, "You're already in pain, get a reward out of it," and it pushes me further. I know a lot of people like to post-it notes. I keep them up in here. What's one area of self-care you struggle with? Consistency. I'm guilty of just kind of waiting until I start to feel like I need to stop, instead of staying on top of it and making sure I regularly get out to nature. I really need to get onto a regular meditation schedule. That would be the thing I would say I honestly need to work on the most. What are some signs that you're slipping? Two things. I'm more easily agitated, and I'm quicker to anger, and I can have a little bit more of a louder outburst if something's really getting to me that normally wouldn't be. So I know I'm kind of not in the best spot. And also I tend to mull over things that I can't really control, things that will depress me. I've been single for a while, so sometimes that can play in my mind. And I know it's not something I need to be dwelling on. So I will, if I know that thought keeps rolling around in my head, I know I need to take some time. What's on your self-care playlist? A lot of times people like uplifting music when they're, when they need some self-care. I just like kick-ass, full throttle music. Soilwork, Disturbed, 30 Seconds to Mars, Fall Out Boy. So I kind of run the range there. Lately I've been getting into epic rock. I'm going to leave a link for a channel, Jenny Nee 20. She puts up a lot of great videos with cool backgrounds, really inspiring stuff. All Good Things, Hidden Citizens, White, J2, Seventh Sense. Not really all that mainstream, but really, really, really powerful stuff. It really gets me going. Who's someone you call on when you're stressed? I'm a very stereotypical extrovert. I cannot think by myself, so I'll just grab anyone who can handle it. If I got to run over things in my head and I got to get them out, I will go in circles, and sometimes that even means arguing. I will usually go to whoever's not that tired, who can handle the circles as I go round and round for a little while. I've got some great friends that I could always turn to, and of course the gods are always there, and of course my parents. Sometimes I'll bounce things off of them too. Usually I just snag whoever I could find. And what advice do you have for anyone struggling? As I said in my blogs, existence is pain. It's also joy. There are these phases that life will oscillate through. What things that we think are good and things that we think are bad, but really the universe is indifferent to our opinions. We are the ones who have to learn to handle those ups and downs. Once you learn when things are starting to slide down, you'll start to prepare for them. You'll make adjustments. You'll know that maybe now's the time to kind of rest and then get ready for the next cycle to pick up. And I don't know, I can't explain it. It really does move in cycles. Our ancestors came up with all sorts of ways to try to discern these patterns in life, and they're fairly abstract and spiritual and not scientific at all. But when you stop and you really look at life objectively, there is always going to be the cycle of ebb and flow. The second piece I would say to anyone is that you have to focus on gratitude. You know, Gary Vaynerchuk is one of the most powerful thought leaders out there, and he constantly focuses on gratitude and positivity, and not just the feel-good positivity, like really be objective. A woman called in once saying she didn't have motivation. He said, no, you don't have gratitude. He said, if you woke up in the Western world, if you're calling me on my show from a smartphone, if you have food in your stomach and a roof over your head, he says, you are luckier, you are more fortunate and blessed than 90% of the population of the earth. You have so much to be grateful for. Focus on that. Don't focus on what you don't have. Don't focus on where you want to go. Focus on where you've come from. Focus on the things that you do have. And that will make all the difference. And he's right, and I'll say it again, it will go on my epitaph. It is so important to focus on the things you have and the places you've been and the people who are in your life more than anything else. And that is the number one thing to pick you up, and to always understand that life will remain in this state of constant flux, and to just enjoy the ride. Lastly, it's my turn now to tag someone else. Well, I'm choosing 3 beautiful someone else's. I'm gonna first tag Irene of BeBuff Wellness. We recently connected. We're both New Yorkers. We're both into fitness. We both have gone on this incredible journey of our own lives. And she just has a book out recently. It's just been published. So all the links to all the links to her media and her book and everything is going to be down in the description below. Also, Beverly, Misadventure. She started her channel about a year ago, I want to say. And I've seen her grow so much. She was this timid little thing when she started, and honestly, darling, you're incredible right now. You're so comfortable on the camera, and I know you struggle with, you know, your own issues and your own things, but I think I know you've done one of these self-care videos before, but I want to hear it again because you're so experienced at this, and you're really, really good at doing this. I think you have a perspective other people would need to hear. So it's your turn. Of course, another fellow New Yorker, somebody I love very much and have known for years, Miss Marissa LaRocca. She also has a new book out. It's available on Amazon. Her links will all be down below. She is a pillar of the LGBT community here in New York, and she's an inspiring person. And darling, I can't wait to see what you come up with. That's it for me, and that's just about it for the sun. And that's it for beautiful Long Island and historic Huntington. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Again, thank you, Christina, for tagging me. This has been a lot of fun. And I want to wish you all peace, love, and protein pancakes. We're talking to you all soon.